Hey, had a little bit of craziness with the recording and I'm hoping it's going to work. Um, Hello, everyone. I am Christina Taylor, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from North Canton, Ohio. These are new glasses and I'm seeing like a glare on the glass. I feel like I have to keep my chin up a little bit. Otherwise, I'm seeing screen on my glasses. Anyway, sorry, I just saw a squirrel there and got that sidetracked. So today I am sharing with you some things to do with the In Color Club products, with the ink pads, the cardstock, the glimmer paper, the designer series paper, the ribbon, the markers, all the things. And except for blends, I did not put the blends in this video, but those of you who use blends, you know what you do with them. You color in with them. You can do kind of all kinds of cool things. So I just kept it to the basic club and did not add the blends in this video. So I'm hoping that with the projects that I'm sharing with you today, you will find inspiration to use the products that you got in the club, cut them up, and create. Don't leave them sit on your card table or your desk or wherever you create. Cut them up and use them. That's the goal. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera down to the table, and we're going to go ahead and get started on a little creative adventure. Okay? Okay, so here is just a peek of some of the products that we are using in today's class and a little peek at the projects too. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those and we're going to go through those one at a time. Let me get them back with the projects over here to my side. Okay, so this is a video for In Color Club products. So we'll kind of go over a little bit of what you've gotten in your color bundles. So with your color each month, you will have gotten an ink refill in one of the 5 colors, depending on which colors you did. You will have that ink refill. You'll have your, let's see, I've got all the ink pads sitting over here with the colors. Let's see. I'll just grab the peach pie. So you're going to have the peach pie, the petunia pop, the shy shamrock, the summer splash, and the pretty in pink. You will have those in the full-size ink pad. So that will be in your color bundle as well. You'll have by the time the club is over with, if you did the full club, you'll have all 5 colors in all of the products that I'm sharing with you today. So you would have all 5 of these Stampin' Right markers, and you may have noticed when you're looking at the markers when you've gotten them that so the markers, if you have some of our older ones, these are a little bit longer than the ones we had before. Also, the writing tip, let me look here. It is like a bullet tip, so it's a little thicker. You've got the ones that we had before had actually looked like a pen, so it was a very thin writing tip, and these are there's just much more. What do I want to say? It's bolder. You can do detailed lines with it, but it's stronger, and you don't have that. Sometimes the other ones were drying out. That writing tip could have been dry, and you had to like re-ink it with the ink refill. Which, while we're on that, let me do a little bit of sidetrack here because I may as well talk about it right now. So if you have the Stampin' Right markers, so this is your brush tip. So you see it's a larger, fuller, looks like a brush, okay? So if you notice that your marker is getting low, dry, like it's not as, the color isn't flowing as well as it was before. Let's see, this is the Shy Shamrock. So you would take the Shy Shamrock ink refill and just take the little nozzle, which you would normally fill on the ink pad when your ink pad needs a refresher, and just squeeze so gently so that a dab of the re-inker goes into the brush tip. I normally do like a couple drops of it, and I just slowly let it work its way into the brush tip, put the lid back on, and then I store the marker like this for like a 24-hour time period. I allow that ink to come down the brush tip and go back into the barrel of the marker, and it helps rejuvenate the marker. I've done that for years and it's worked for me. I'm not sure that that's what Stampin' Up endorses. I'm going to be honest with you. They probably just want you to buy a brand new marker, but this has worked for me for years. And if you have this free inker, you can re-ink your ink pad and your marker and just, give more life to your product. So I'm all about passing on those kind of tips for your benefits. So anyway, so you've got your markers here. Now, with the In Color Club, for those of you who participated and got all 5 months, when you get the Pretty in Pink color bundle, you will get the packaging for all the products. So with the Pretty in Pink comes the packaging. So that what I mean by that is you're going to get the case for the markers. So you'll have a case to put all your markers in. You'll have, what's the other thing? All the packaging for the gems, which I don't have right in front of me here. Hang on, I dropped some of the cards. Like this, like the packaging. You'll have the sleeve so that you can put all the gems back in a package if you haven't started using them, and they'll be contained. So same with the designer series paper, you'll have that shimmer pack. It'll be in like this sleeve with the label on the back, and you'll have a piece of cardboard in it. So that way you can put your shimmer paper back in, the glimmer paper back in there, and kind of keep it all nice and tidy. So just so you know, if you haven't got the Pretty in Pink as your color for the month yet, when it comes to you, those packaging things will come to you as well and give you like a storage option. So, okay, I diverted there just a little bit. So you've got the ink refills, the ink pad, the markers. You will have a 2 yards of each of the colors of ribbon. So, and it's a beautiful ribbon, really easy to tie and work with. Also, it does fray really nicely. If you like a fringy kind of tattered, shabby chic look, you can cut the ends off and pull and get a really nice tattered fiber. I'm not doing that in any of the projects today, but I have seen that done and it does look really nicely. But it does tie really nice and easy to work with. So you can see the bordering, the stitching on here. So you'll have 2 yards of each of that. You will have, well, by the time you're done with the club, you're going to have the entire pack of designer series paper, because you'll have the all the sheets in all the colors. But I'll just get a couple of these out here so you can see I've cut into mine here. But you've got, there we go. So you'll have these 4 patterns in each color, and you'll have a total of 8 sheets of each color, I believe. I think it's 8 sheets or 6 sheets. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to look on the back because I'm like, yeah, it's 8 sheets, 8 sheets. So you have 2 of each or 4 of each print. And then of course they have front and back. So you've got 8 sheets and all the colors. We're going to use, I think, every single color today and the print, all the different prints. So you're going to have that. You're going to have a sheet of 12 by 12 glimmer paper in all the 5 colors, and they are beautiful. And I'm going to show you some things you can do with those today with your glimmer paper. So let me get that out of the way. And then as part of participating in the In Color Club, you got a sampling of the basic beige cardstock. So a couple of the projects that I'm doing today, you're going to have, we're going to use basic beige because I wanted to try to really just use the products that you'll have in the color bundles to give you ideas for things to do with your products. So I believe you've got 5 sheets of the basic beige cardstock as a sampling. And I think you got a couple yards of the ribbon. I'm pretty sure it was 2 yards. I like cut a bunch of it and now I'm second guessing myself. So you'll have a sampling of the basic beige ribbon too. It is a beautiful color, a beautiful neutral. It's soft. I really like working with it. So if this color is something that interests you, you can always get the basic beige ink pad and the ink refill if you'd like, to kind of add to your creative options with your crafting. So, all right, I am going to move these things out of the way here, get these re-inkers out, and we're going to go ahead and get started. I hope that you are loving your products. And if you haven't created with them, I hope that this video will inspire you to get them out and create with them. Oh, I had to have a little bit of drink there. So I'm hoping to send this video out this evening. I'm a little late at getting it recorded. I had the projects done, but did not have time to sit and record it. And tomorrow Stampin' Up is offering a free shipping sale. I mean, we all love that. They just released the details on it on Sunday, so we just literally found out about it. Now, this is my current hostess code if you're wanting to do any shopping online to get the Happy Mail card kits that I offer as an extra thank you for your order. And but it has to be connected to this hostess code. So it is RSWM4BAC. If for some reason when you are going to place your order and say this code, it's saying it's invalid, just text me or shoot me an email asking me what the current code is, because sometimes they end before I update this, which this one still should be valid here for the month of July. But anyway, so yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get started here and create. So on this first project here, we are going to use the markers. I'm going to show you a technique you can use with your markers. So we're using Summer Splash. Get that out, set that aside here. The stamp set that I chose to use is the Sending Love stamp set. It's super cute, has a die set to go along with it. But I am just going to use the I miss you stamp, and it says a little note to say, I miss you. So we've got that. And then I'm using the Unbounded Love dies, which I've got a couple of these out. So I think there's 2 more labels in here that I have taken out because we are using this set of labels on several of the projects. So what I tried to do was I tried to keep the focus on the projects for the products that you have in your color bundles. So I know we all have punches, we have dies, we have sentiments and things like that. So know that you can take these project ideas that I'm sharing with you, and if you don't have this set of dies or this stamp set, you can use what you have to create a very similar project, because you're going to have everything that I'm using here. All of us have envelopes on hand. We all have white cardstock. So you're just going to need some white cardstock and envelopes. Everything else you will have in your color bundles. And like I said, if you don't have all 5 colors yet, that's okay, because if you don't have Shamrock, you can make this card design in Petunia Pop. You can make this card design in Peach Pie, whatever you have, because you'll have, if you've got that color, you're going to have the supplies to go along with it. Okay, so I'm using the Unbounded Love dies, and in that die set, I've taken this die out. So what this does is it creates an oval, but it creates a scallop frame as well. So it's a 2-piece die. It's one die that cuts 2 pieces, and you're going to see what I'm talking about here shortly. So I've gone ahead. Well, let me just show you this. So there's what I'm talking about. So I've gone ahead and cut out the glimmer paper for this card, and in the Shy Shamrock, and you can see it's got just a frame piece. So let me give you the supplies we're using. We've got, of course, some Shy Shamrock ribbon. I'm going to cut that off in a bit. We've got our envelope. We've got a piece of Shy Shamrock cardstock, and this is going to be cut at 5.5 by 8.5. And then I've got a piece of white paper that is, let me look here. This is 3.5 by 5. I've got a piece of designer series paper that is 1.5 by 5.5. I've got a piece of designer series paper that is 3 by 3 square. So this is the one that will have the dots on one side and this pattern on the other. But again, you can choose whatever pattern you like. Then I've got a piece of white, basic white cardstock, so 3.25 by 3.25. And then a scrap piece for, we're going to do a die cut. And then I've got this little strip of glimmer paper that I've cut. It's, oh, say like 1/8 of an inch by like 6 inches, maybe. I don't know. I'll cut off what we need, but just a very slim glimmer paper. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and we're going to use some of our shimmer gems. Oh, I do want to circle back here. So my, the in color resin dots that you are also getting, they're the solid, not quite the shimmer, but you've got solid colored gems. I ran completely out of those with the last package that I have, so I did not use those on any of these projects. I had to use shimmer on every single one of them. But just know that the embellishments that I'm using on here, you could substitute either or. They're going to look great with whichever one you use, whether it's the resin dots or the shimmer dots. But I do apologize because you will have a package of those in all the different colors that you got in your bundle. But I did not use them on the projects today since I was out. And they have been on back order as well. So as some of you know, because in the last color bundle, you didn't get your markers and the colors because they were on back order. All right, I think that's a lot of talking, and I need to go ahead and get started stamping here. So, all right. So I'm going to bring in my Simply Scored tool and score my cardstock at 4.25. I'm going to fold that in half, flatten that crease with the bone folder. I'm just kind of getting all my pieces there. All right, so with the markers, besides coloring in, you can do a technique that's called omitting. So I just want the I miss you on the stamp set. I don't want the note to say, a little note to say, I miss you. Simply because, where did I do with my little oval here? This stamp is a circle shape and I'm going to put it in an oval. So that's not going to work with me with this shape. So using the markers is a great way to do this technique. And I'm going to get a little closer here. So I'm going to take the brush tip of my marker and I'm going to just color the surface of those letters. So I'm just swiping over top of it. And then I'm going to do the eye here. Okay, so I've got those colored. I'm going to blow on it, like huff on it, as we say, to moisten the ink so I can stamp it down. So instead of, let me clean this off. So instead of it saying the a little note to say, I miss you, it just says, I miss you. All right. And that's a great technique you can do with your markers. Now, say I wanted the whole thing, but I wanted 2 different colors. Say I was going to use the Shy Shamrock and I don't know, maybe the Petunia Pop. So I could do Shy Shamrock on the Miss You, and I could do Petunia Pop around on the outside of my stamp and stamp it once and get that 2-tone of color. That's a great, great thing you can do with your markers. Okay, so now I want to die cut this out. So, and I didn't pre-do that, so I'm gonna go run and do that real quick. And I'll be right back. I'm just gonna leave it recording and I'll come right back. Okay, sorry about that little bit of a wait. It die cut it so good it stuck it to my plate. Okay, so this is the frame piece that we got in our glimmer paper. And then this is what you get. So it die cuts two pieces. All right. So we're going to, we could actually just glue this together with that. And then put this over. Maybe we'll try that. Really, you could just put this one on. And I want to make sure I've got all my little Chad pieces, as they say, those little hanging little pieces that are still stuck in there. I want to get those out. So let me do that with the white one. Okay. Alrighty. We're going to put that aside. We're done with that. And I was like, where's the project? I didn't even show you the project. This is the project that we're creating. Okay. And I didn't stamp anything on the inside. I'm thinking like, I'm wondering if there's something on here that I could stamp in there. Didn't do that, but we could always definitely try that. I could put some little hearts there. Maybe we'll do that. So let me grab my piece of paper. And my Shy Shamrock stamp ink pad over there because I was just using the marker, but I'm gonna go ahead and put those little hearts on there. I think that will be cute. Block here. So we'll stamp those. Yeah, I like that. It's cute. Just give it a little heart. I mean, if you're telling somebody you miss them, their little hearts are going to be good. And you know what? We'll do that on the envelope too. Now that I think about that, we'll just do a little like seal there and a little bit in the front. Just a little pop of color there. Okay. So we are done with stamping, markering. We're ready to put this card together. All right, so we'll start with our inside layer. Inside of our card. This Shy Shamrock is such a pretty color of green. It really is. And I think I need to, yeah, this is too long. I was like, oh, I have to cut this down. Sometimes I find it's just easier to leave that little ½ inch there. Once you get it in place, then you can use your scissors to just trim it off. There we go. So that's flat with the end of our card. We're going to get this piece of designer series paper glued on. I really had fun creating with these projects or the products because I knew that I couldn't incorporate any other colors. I had to stick with the in colors because I wanted to use what you would have available. Okay, need to do this, but I want to do my ribbon. Where's my little tie there? Get that lid on there. Okay. I'm going to do my ribbon first because I want to fasten it down, have it in place. So you'll notice on this card, so I've got the ribbon, it's got the illusion like it's wrapped around. So you see that? So it's like it's coming around and I've knotted it. So how I accomplished that was I like to just take, oh, I don't know, I'm going to say like, say that's about a 3-inch piece. I folded it over 3 inches. So I'm going to take and loop tie that through. Okay. And tie that, and then I'm just going to pull it in a knot. So I've got this little tab here connected with the rest of my ribbon, and then I've got a loop piece right here. I'm going to take and just snip that, and that's going to give me a little tail. And I cut this off. I always like to work on my bolt of ribbon, like what the ribbon's coming off of, instead of tying it or cutting a piece. So that's what works best for me. Let me clean up this one end because it's a little tattered. Okay. All right, so I've made that and I've got these two ends, and what I'm going to do is take that and fasten it around the back side and just put it on the back of the tape. Get a couple pieces. This is a great technique to do with your ribbon knotting, with making the loop ribbon and then cutting it. If you struggle with making a nice, firm, tight knot, when you're trying to tie a ribbon around these pieces, this is a great way to do it. It gives you a nice flat knot, and then you just tape it on the back side like this, and it looks as though you've wrapped it around. So I'd say it's kind of like a little bit of a cheater's knot. And I think that's perfectly acceptable. Let me grab some dimensionals here. So I'm going to put this on with some dimensionals. We're going to pop that up. Almost got this sheet finished. Right. So I'm going to put that in place, kind of put that right in the center. Go. All right, now I need to come in with my I Miss You. And I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal for that because I'm going to be going right over the ribbon. And I'm like, I like the Stampin' Seal. It's a very strong adhesive and it will hold right to that ribbon as well as the designer series paper. So I'm just going to press that in place. And then we're going to take this frame and glue that in place as well. And I'm going to come in with my Tombow and grabbing my silicone mat here. This is great if you're gluing. Oh, I see I missed a little. I see I missed a wee little piece here. A little one that's still in there. Go. This is great for detailed pieces where you might get some overflow with the glue, which after I grab this, I should have grabbed my precision bottle. But at this point, I'm too far in, so we're just gonna roll with it. It'll be okay. It's just glue. Okay, so I put glue on the back side of that. And I'm just going to fit it like a puzzle. Wait, I gotta turn it the right way. There we go. With this style, you'll see how it fits into place a bit. I've got glue on my fingers, so I'll get a wipe here to take that off. There we go. Let me grab a wipe. That was my scoring tool. I hit it with my chair. Good gracious. Okay, so we've got our frame in place. And I need to come back in with my little silver strip. I love using little strips like this because it gives you that illusion of ribbon, even though we've got that fiber there. It just, I don't know, it ties the card in as far as I'm concerned. I think it does. Let me, that's kind of, see if I can get it to, I need to refill the little precision bottle. So I may not use that right now because I should have filled that up. So for this one, I'm just going to take my Tombow and get that started. I'm just going to go right along the edge of my designer series paper. For me, I find this is easier than trying to put it on this little slim piece. So you do what works best for you. And then I'm just going to slide that right into place. And I like it to have just a little 1/4 inch gap so we can see that shamrock as well. And I'm just going to snip that off. Oh my goodness, I just am not able to pick up anything today. Gracious. Okay, that's our first card. All right, we've got our first one. So I'm going to take, oh, wait a minute. Wait, there's more. I forgot the gem. Wait, we've got to like embellish. I mean, I know we've got you could leave it just like this, but I mean, why not put some gems on there? We have them, you know, let's use them. So I'm going to, these are the shamrock ones. So I'm going to put one there. We'll do another one. And we'll do a little one here. Oh my gosh, how cute is that? I'll just leave these gems out because we're going to use those again. Look how cute that is with the sparkle. And like I said, you could use the resin dots and those would look adorable on here too. So either one, your choice. All right, let me set these things aside and come in here with some peach pie. Okay. All right, so we're gonna put this card aside. And we're gonna use peach pie on this one. And I'm using the double oval punch, which, did I pull this one out? As far as I know, it's still available. I hope it's not retired. I have to double check that. I really hope it's not retired. I'll feel really bad about that. And then we're going to use the Spotlight on Nature stamp set, which is just a beautifully soft images in the stamp set. I thought this one would work really well. Has a set of dies that go along with it, which is a set of circle dies. They're also really pretty. And then we're going to use the peach pie ribbon. And the supplies that we have in front of us. So I've got a basic white envelope. I've got a piece of peach pie that is cut 5.5 by 8.5. All of these cards I cut 5.5 by 8.5. So that is just half a sheet, half a sheet of cardstock. So I've got that. Then I've got a piece of basic white that is 4 by 5 1/4. Then I've got another piece of basic white that is 3.5 by 5. We've got a piece of designer series paper, and on this one I use the stripes, and on the back side of it is that floral, like botanicals kind of print. But we're going to use the stripes, or at least I am. And it is a 1" by 3". And then I've got another piece of peach pie that is 3/4 of an inch by 3.5 inches. Okay. And then you're going to need a scrap piece of white because we're going to do a punch out. So I'm just going to grab a scrap there. You could do the same. And that's pretty much it. That's it. So I'm going to bring my scoring tool up here. We'll get this scored. And score 4 1/4 down here. Oh my gosh, and my chair keeps hitting it. I'm so sorry for the ruckus that it's creating. I'm really not flying around here that much. I don't know why I keep hitting it. Okay, and damn, where's my card? Oh my gosh, ladies, I hope you're staying with me here. I am like so discombobulated. I'm like out of the loop for some reason. I don't know. I'm going to blame it on the sunshine, I guess. This is the card we're creating. So we've just got some just simple images on there. It's a thanks to a dear friend, and just doing some ink to paper, keeping it simple. All right. So I'll bring my stamping paper back in and we'll do our stamping. Start by stamping the floral image. Put that kind of in the center on this front panel. That's so pretty. The detail in that stamp set is just so pretty. And I'm going to stamp one at the bottom for our inside piece. We'll go ahead and do our envelope because why not? There we go. Super cute. Oh, so pretty. And clean off that stamp. And I do want to, I'm going to take this butterfly, so pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and ink that up, and I'm going to do that right on the back of my envelope. So pretty there. Okay. So we've got our inside layer. We've got that done. We need to stamp on the lower piece of this. I want to put that dear friend on there, and I'm just gently inking the stamp. Beautiful. That font is so pretty on this stamp set. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my scrap piece and ink up the thanks. I was trying to think where to stamp this, but I think either way I'm going to have to punch out 2 punches because it's a double oval. Actually, if I had done, let me cut this in half. Let me just cut a chunk off here because I really only need that lower one. I don't need it to go up on the top. So I'm just going to take that and bring it in from top. That way I still have that to use for stamping purposes. Okay, so we've got our greetings. We've got all of our stamping done at this point. So we're going to just bring in our card base and we're going to go ahead and start assembling. So I tried to keep the cards monochromatic. I do have another card. I will grab it before the videos are with to show you how you can incorporate all the cards to get all the colors together. In fact, let me go get it because the way this video is going with me being all squirrely and all that all over the place, I'll forget it. So let me just grab it. Okay. I'll show it to you after we're done with this one, but I went ahead and get it because, yeah. Okay. I was afraid that I wouldn't, but anyway, you can take your products, your colors, these colors all go together very nicely. They're very complementary of each other, but also really complementary of some of our core colors. So, use them and get out and get creative with the things that you already have. Put these new colors in there and you can really give like a, breath of fresh air to your paper crafting just by introducing a new color combination. Okay. So I'm going to lay this strip down, just kind of like so. We're just going to do a little layering of these pieces. This would be a great card to use if you, now, I mean, I cut them this length, but if you had like scraps, you could do this card. It's a great way to use little pieces of things. Just want a small piece of ribbon here. I'm going to say it's like maybe a 3-inch piece. I just wanted to give that texture to the project. And I didn't feel the need to wrap it around. Just going to run a little bit of adhesive right there. It's just a small piece of ribbon, so I can just do that and it's going to tap it right into place. It'll be fine. And I'm going to put some dimensionals on. I'm going to use the mini dimensionals. They just have a slightly lower profile than our regular dimensionals. Not that our regular dimensionals are really bulky. I know there are some dimensionals that different paper crafting companies that they're like a 1/4 inch thick. They're very thick. So it's just whatever you prefer. So I've got the thanks there. We got thanks, dear friend. Of course, we need some gems. And again, you could use the resin ones or you could use the shimmer ones, whatever you prefer. I'm going to, of course, we're going to have a little shimmer. Because, well, we've discussed that. I don't have any of the resin ones because I've used them all and they were so popular that I could not get them. So I'm hoping when I order this week, when I place an order, because the free shipping on Tuesday and Tuesday only, that I can get some of those gems. Okay, so there is our second card using the peach pie. Isn't that such a fun, pretty card for this time of year, summertime? So pretty. All right, let me grab these things out of the way. And I'm gonna put that project up there. I'm gonna clear up my space just a little bit here, so we can like reset. Put all my little things out of the way. Okay, all right, here's the project that I was telling you about. And I have a video on my channel, so you can definitely check that out. But this is all 5 in colors and it's on the basic beige. So you would really have all the supplies to create this project. You've got the basic beige, you have the basic beige ribbon. I made the little bow with my little bow maker, so you can make these fun little tiny bows. We've got the shimmer gems at the top. So really, really pretty card. And again, it's got all the colors in it. Okay. All right, we're going to come in with some petunia pop. There's our card. You get a little bit of peek at that. Okay. So this is the beauty we're going to make now. Look at that petunia pop in all of its glory. We've got some texture on there with the embossing folder. Love this. Okay. So let's see what we're using on this one. So for our punch, we're using the Labeled with Love punch. This is a new punch in the catalog. We're also using the Eyelet 3D embossing folder. Super pretty, and it's a new embossing folder in the catalog. Of course, we've got our petunia pop, such a beautiful color. So that is going to just, work its magic. Then we've got our petunia pop bordered ribbon. We're coming back in with the shimmer gems. So we've got those in the petunia pop. And then I grabbed a new stamp set and dies. This is one I've just gotten and I haven't had time to much to create with it. But when I started doing the projects for this, I was like, you know, I'm gonna pull that out and incorporate that into this project. So it's called the Beauty of the Flowers of Beauty. It's 2-step Stampin' Set. And then it has this beautiful set of dies. And it cuts out the imagery in the stamp set, but then you get these strips with all these little blossoms. There's 2 different sizes that you can cut those out, which I think that is great because you've got what, total of 8. It cuts out 8 of those little things. So instead of running like a little tiny die through 8 times, just run it through once and you've got 8 little flowers. And these detailed stem pieces. So you've got the one that I used on this project and then another one, a nice long one. And these, of course, cut out the imagery in the stamp set. I'm going to grab this little die because we're going to stamp some flowers. I've used these 2 stamps out of the set to create some little flowers for this project. Okay, so what we've got here, we've got our basic white envelope. We've got a piece of Petunia Pop that is a 5.5 by 8.5. We've got a piece of basic white that's 3.5 by 5. A piece of Petunia Pop that is, I can't find my notes here. It is, I'm gonna look here because now I'm a little, it's 3 3/3 by 5. I didn't have that down here. And you know what, I think I've got it down and I've got it that it's white. So 3 3/4 by 5. Good gracious. A piece of the designer series paper. So you can, I'm using, you've got the stripe side, but I'm going to use the botanical side. And it's a 3 by 3 square. And then I've gone ahead and die cut this beauty out already. So I've used this die. I've used our Petunia Pop glimmer paper. And I'm just going to go ahead and use my take your pick tool and get those little, just punch those out. They are all die cut through. I just didn't get the little pieces out. So I'm just going to quickly do that. All of them. Yeah. Okay. So I've got all those little pieces out. And we're left with this beautiful. Let me put it up against the white. Look how pretty that is. And it's got the shimmer. Oops, there's a little piece I got left in there. You can see it on the white. Yeah, so pretty. Sorry. So we've got that already die cut out of the glimmer paper. I find when I'm die cutting my glimmer paper, I run it through and then run it back through a couple times, just because you are going through a thicker specialty paper. So I find that's a good tip. And then I need a scrap of white. So I'm going to grab that white that I was using earlier. And I think that is it. Okay. So let's grab my scoreboard and see if I can knock it down again when I'm done with it. Because I've done that for both projects now. We'll see, like 3rd time's a charm. Okay, so we're going to score it at 4 1/4. Let's see, Christina, see if you can keep it from falling over. I'm not going to make any promises. We're going to fold that at the score line. Just like bone folder and flatten that crease. So we've got our card base. I've already gone ahead and embossed this with the eyelet embossing folder. So that is done. We've got our designer series paper. We've got our die cut. Okay. So we need to do a little stamping on our white pieces. So we'll bring in that piece of paper that I was using earlier. And I'm going to create 3 blossoms for our tag. So you can see, so we've got 3 little blossoms there. And I'm going to start with the outline stamp. That's my personal preference. Now, this is a photopolymer, and normally I would use my stamping mat, but because it's a smaller image, I'm comfortable with just stamping it like this, knowing it's going to come out fine. So if it's a larger image, I definitely say, yeah, I need to um, get my mat to get a good transfer of image. So this is the fill-in image. I'm going to stamp it off once and then stamp it over top. I wanted just a lighter shade. So see how that is, just a lighter shade there. It would be, in my opinion, it would be too strong to stamp it full strength. You wouldn't get that beautiful definition. So that's just what I choose to do. Okay, so I've gone ahead and stamped 3 of these, and then I'll take this little die cut, line that up with the die, run that through the cut and emboss machine and through the Magic TV, because I actually did this one before, and I've gone ahead and die cut all 3 of those out, so you do not have to wait for me to do that. So I'll die cut those out later to continue on with this project. And then I'm going to do a little stamping of the inside piece of the cardstock. So I'm going to do 3. And we'll do a few on our envelope as well. Okay. And again, we're going to come back in and stamp this off once. Stamp, stamp off, stamp, stamp, stamp off, stamp again. So we've got that beautiful definition on there. Stamp off. This image lines up really easy for 2-step stamping. I find that it does. So I've got those 2 pieces. I need to bring that scrap piece back in because I've got to do a punch out here. So I'm going to use, and this stamps that I got here is from the Unbounded Love. So we're using the Unbounded dies for the labels. On this one, I'm using a punch, but on 3 of the other projects, we're using labels from this set of dies. And I grabbed the You Are a True Blessing. I'm just going to ink that up with my Petunia Pop. I'm going to go ahead and shut that. Insert that in my punch, and I'm actually going to move this over to the right a little bit. I want to create some space here so I can put my blossoms. So instead of putting it in the center, I am going to offset it. Punch that out. Okay, and we're ready to layer, put this baby together. All right. Some glue on there. We'll get our inside layer all nice and framed in there. Nice. Then we're going to go with our embossed piece. Go. And our piece of designer series paper in the Petunia Pop. I think how I want to like it like that. Just determine what way you want your pattern to go. Put that in place. And then for my detailed die cut piece here, because I'm going to be layering over top of it, I'm just going to run some of my snail adhesive. Well, let me get started there. Just going to run some snail adhesive right there. Put that in place so it'll stick right to it. I'm okay with it have like a little bit of lift there. That does not bother me at all. Then I'm going to build on this before I do my label, and I want to put some ribbon here. So this, I'd say you need about like 6, 7 inch piece of ribbon. What I'm going to do is just take my ribbon and cross it just like this, kind of make a little loop. Okay. And just go ahead and snip that. Put it kind of to the side here. Okay, so I like the way, I'm just trying to figure out how I want to do that. I'm going to put a little bit more adhesive there. So I can. And you can fasten it down however it works best for you. I just find that the snail works really well, and I'm happy with the results when it comes to the ribbon. So I just do that. And then I want to put my label on with some dimensionals. And again, I'm going to use the mini dimensionals again on this one. The profile is a little bit lower. And because I have so many layers on this one, I'm comfortable with that as far as I want to reduce that profile of the, or the lift on the project so it's not so high. So I'm going to take just like that. All right, and then I want to put my center blossom. I'm going to put that on with just regular Tombow. And then these two little guys, I'm going to pop up with some dimensionals. Oops, just lost that. My goodness, came off the sheet there. Okay. And one more. So, great. So then I'm just going to place those on a label for our greeting. Come back in with some gems. And we're going to put some little gems on. I'm going to use the smaller ones on this card. Oh, I just love it. These projects are so pretty. I'm so happy with the way they've turned out, and I hope that you're enjoying them as well. So this is our second, or no, third. This is our third project. Love that with the petunia pot. So let me get this stuff out of the way. So we're going to set this project out of the way. Clean out my space a little bit here. I know this project is going to, or this class is just a little bit longer because we're doing 5 projects. Okay. This one. Okay. All right. Okay. So we've got another, I keep saying, okay. We've got another label. This is out of the Unabounded Love dies. So it's a detailed kind of rectangular shape. Got that out. We've got the Summer Splash ink. We've also got the basic beige ink. Now I know you won't have this ink, but you can improvise with the inks that you have, or you can, once you see what I'm doing with it, you can change it up a bit, and I'll explain to you how to do that. And then on this stamp set, or this project, I've used the Layering Leaves stamp set. So I'm going to take out the Thinking of You for our greeting. Okay. Put that on a block. And then I'm actually going to use 1, 2, all three of these leaves. So I'm going to grab some blocks here and show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get creative with this. Well, I'd like to think we're getting creative actually with all of them. Okay, so we've got all 3 leaves there. And I need the little speckles. All right, so I'm gonna set that aside. This is a great stamp set. It comes with it. There is a punch that coordinates with it. So it'll punch out the larger leaf image and then a smaller one, which you've got here, 2 images in the stamp set. So it's a great bundle. I don't think it's bundled together anymore, but the products still do coordinate, so you can get those. Okay, so we are using on this one, circle back in here. We are using the Summer Splash and then the Basic Beige. So I've grabbed the Basic Beige ribbon. And we're just gonna need a piece of that, so we'll cut that when we're ready to go. I've got a basic white envelope. We've got a piece of Basic Beige that is 5.5 by 8.5. A piece of basic white that is 3.5 by 5. We've got a piece of Summer Splash that's 4 inches by 5.25. A piece of Basic Beige that is, wait a minute, 3 3/4 by 5. I had to think about my measurements. 3 3/4 by 5. And as you can see, I have die cut this die out of the side of that piece because we are going to be layering over top of this. So I just die cut it. See it? It's going to fit right behind it. I just die cut it out right out of that. And I looked at it and I'm like, oh, I hope I cut that at the right space, but I did. So that's just me just like not wanting to cut another piece of cardstock and just use what I have. So that's done for you or for us on this project already. And then a piece of designer series paper that is 2 inches by, let me look on my thing, 2 inches by 4 3/4. Okay. All right. So we've got all of our pieces. Well, let's get that scoring tool and score the cards. I didn't knock it over on the last project. Like that's a miracle in itself. Watch, I'll do it on this one now. Scoring it at 4 1/4. Let's pull that at the crease or the 4 line and give ourselves a nice flat piece. Now I'm going to first start out by getting my leaves that I need. So I'm going to show you a trick, and you know me with the cardstock and not wanting to cut another piece, I'm going to use the layer I have because we are going to build upon it. So I know that I need to bring in my punch this way. I'm going to be punching out this stamp or this leaf image. So when I am stamping these leaves, I want to make sure that I'm stamping them the way they go into the punch. It will help me be able to punch it out and utilize this piece of cardstock. So I'll show you what I mean here. We're going to start with that Summer Splash ink. And I'm going to stamp this first one. So I'm going to bring the punch in, line it up, which might be hard for you to see on camera, but I'm just lining that up. And it's really punching out one I don't need. I don't know, maybe I'll decide to put it on the card here, but I'm not planning on utilizing it. So I've got that one. Then I want to go with the next one. So I'm going to stamp that down, and I'll clean both of these off in just a minute. Bring my punch and insert the cardstock again. And punch. So I've got my second one and another one of those little guys. Then I'm going to turn it this way and ink that stamp up and stamp it down. Come back in with my punch. Okay. So see, I've got all this out of here, but we're going to layer over it. So, you know, yippee skippy, that is a layer I didn't have to cut. Okay. So we ended up with, let me show you these a little more close up. So can you see the different stamped images on there? They're all different, so they're going to give us some different textures on our card. And these are just a little byproduct that come out there. I don't see myself using them on this one, but who knows? We could like go rogue and do something different. All right, bring my stamp paper back in, and I'm going to go ahead and use, we'll just use this one, stamp it, and stamp it again. So giving it a lighter and darker. And on the inside, I think we'll do the more solid one. Okay, so we've got a lighter and a darker. And I'm going to clean all these off. Okay. Now I want to come in with my basic beige because you notice, remember, I was like, I need the basic beige. I've got a speckle stamp. We're going to put some speckles on here just to kind of bring that beige on the inside of our card. So get those, see, just a little speckles of color. And we can add a few to our envelope as well. There we go. Right. And then the label that we die cut, we want to stamp that. So we are done with the basic beige. Done with all three of those. So I'm just going to move those out of the way. And grab the thinking of you. Stamp that down. Okay, so that looks nice. And we've got all of our stamping done. So we're going to go ahead. Let me just, on this one, I'll clear up some of these pieces so that we've got a lot going on here. So I want to clear up the work surface. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to start building our layers. And because I've got so many like holes in this one from the punch outs, I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal. So that way I don't get any liquid glue coming through. So we built that layer. Okay, now we're going to build this on our front of our card. I just love how that summer splash and that beige work together. They are such a pretty color combination. Now, there's two sides to every one. I want to use the one with the botanicals on it, as I'm calling it. Just, oops, you know what? I need to cut this a little bit more. It is a little bit long. Okay, grab my cutter here. I need to cut that like a 1/4 inch smaller. So we'll just put that in the slide cutter. I put it in with the adhesive side up so it won't stick to my cutting base. And then I'm just going to layer that because I wanted a nice border around it. And it was a little too long, wasn't giving me that. Okay, so then I'm going to come in with my pieces and kind of determine where I want to put my greeting. Okay, so for me, what I'm going to do, because I want to put all of these stems down, I'm going to just, I put a little bit of my snail adhesive there. And I'm just going to go ahead and tuck them into place. Just like this. So they're down, and I'm okay when the pieces are up like that. I feel like it gives the card dimension. So I need a piece of this basic beige, ribbon. Maybe like, I don't know, a 2-inch piece. Not very much at all. So I grab a piece of tape. I always like to fasten mine behind the label or whatever I'm putting it on with masking tape. So I've just taken this little piece of ribbon and folded it in half. And I'm going to tuck it behind the corner of my label. Show you here. So it's going to be like that. I'm just tucking it behind with a piece of tape, and it's going to banner out like that on the side. And then I need some dimensionals and on the end of a sheet here. So I'll just go ahead and snip some of these up. So I want to put like 4 on here. And then I'm just going to tuck that right underneath those leaves. There we go. Excuse me. Use my seal and just put that on with the inside layer. And there is our 4th card. Now this one I'm not putting any gems on because I feel like I'm thinking of you. I might want to send this as a sympathy or get well. And I don't, for sympathy card, I typically don't want to bling it up. So I'm not going to put any bling on this one. But if you could easily make this a birthday card layout and put a happy birthday on there. So this is our 4th card design. Okay, let me grab things for our next card. So the spool of ribbon is coming undone here. Okay. All right, we've got another label from our Unabounded Love label. So this one came out of the set as well. We're using that one. Again, like I said, you can use any labels you have, any die cuts you have, punches, whatever you have on hand. This one is going to feature the Pretty in Pink ink color. I've grabbed the new embossing folder Dotted Circles, and it is a large embossing folder. You can fit 2 card fronts in this, which is great. It's a whole half a sheet of cardstock that you can emboss at one time. And then I'm using the Thoughtful Wishes dies. We're going to use this detailed piece in there. So we've got our Pretty in Pink ribbon that's kind of gotten out of control here. I'm going to wind it back down. Okay. And then I'm using the Unabounded Love stamp set, and I'm going to make this, let's see. I made my example with happy birthday, but maybe I'll put the may all your wishes come true, and then I could put happy birthday on the inside. So let me do that. Block here. Okay, so I've got may all your wishes come true. And then I'll do happy birthday. And then I grabbed this stem out of here to put some images on the inside along with the little dots. And on there. And this one. Okay, and this is the Thoughtful Wishes stamp set. It goes along with the die set that we're using. Oh, let me get this one out of the way. Okay, so there's our 2 dies that we're using. Here is the card that we're making. Isn't that beautiful? With that sparklies and these dots. So pretty. Okay. All right, so the supplies that we are using, we've got our basic white envelope. We've got a piece of Pretty in Pink cardstock that's cut 5.5 by 8.5. a piece of the basic beige that is 4 by 5 1/4, a piece of basic white that's 3 1/2 by 5. I've gone ahead and die cut out the detail piece, and we use the Pretty in Pink glimmer paper, and I'm just gonna finish getting these little pieces of the die cut out, that those little detailed pieces that are still stuck in there. Okay, so we've got all those out. So this is what you're left with. Sparkly piece is so pretty. Then I've die cut this label out of the basic beige. So we've got that. Now this has like a little frame. Can you see that? There's a frame around it. So that's a nice detail. And then I'm using just a 1 inch by 5 1/4 piece of designer series paper. And you can choose whether you want this pattern or the dots. I thought I would go with the dots because we're using the dotted embossing folder. So I thought they complemented each other nicely. All right, so let me grab my scoring tool. And oops, little guy came in here. Scoring that at 4 1/4. And we'll go ahead and fold that. Use our bone folder to flatten that crease. And we need to do our stamping. So I'm going to grab these pieces that we're going to be stamping on. Bring our piece of paper back in here. And use our Pretty in Pink. We're going to do a little bit on our envelope and our inside layer. So here's our envelope and the inside layer. Okay, I think that's it on that one. And then, oh, I want to grab the basic beige again. I'm going to bring that basic beige in to do these little dotted ones. Little guys. Just add and you'll notice if you have the basic beige, you'll notice when you stamp it, it kind of stamps and it's like a light green, but it dries the natural kind of color that it is. It's a unique color. You think like, okay, this is not the right ink pad, but it is. It does dry to where it's like beige. So it's nothing wrong with the pad. That's just how it is. All right, so we've got that. What I wanted to happy birthday. I'm going to do that down here. So we're going to do happy birthday. And then on the front, on our label, we're going to stamp may all your wishes come true. Kind of reverse the sentiments, but I think that's perfectly acceptable. Okay. Right, we've got all of our stamping done with our Pretty in Pink. And we're ready to put this card together. We'll start with our inside layer. And then I definitely like to use my liquid glue on this because it's a 3D folder, so you've got a lot of texture. So that liquid glue allows you to get into all those little nooks and crannies. And then I was just looking at this and I was like, I don't think I cut that the right. I need it to be 5 1/4. So I'm going to cut this down a bit. All right, and then I'm going to put some adhesive. And again, I'm using the dotted side because I felt like it just really complemented what I was going for with this. You know what? And I just realized I didn't put my ribbon down there. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, we'll improvise a little bit here. So see, I was talking and not paying attention. So I wanted to put my ribbon and wrap it around so it kind of ties this all together. So let me think here. Just an opportunity to be creative in a different way. Okay. I'm going to set at an angle. I'm going to do this. Set at an angle. And we are just going to run a strip of ribbon here. No one's going to see my example other than you're watching the video, of course. But when I send it, they're not going to be like, Christina, you didn't wrap your ribbon around. That's a little disappointing. No, it's not going to happen. At least I don't think so. So I'm going to take and run some adhesive just right on my designer series paper. And I'm going to put that in place and press it down. And that's going to hold my ribbon in place nicely. And I'm happy with that little tweak that we've created. Okay, then next I want to put my beautiful embellishment piece here. And I'm going to do like what I did earlier with the other one where we use the petunia pop. I'm just going to take and run my adhesive right on my card front and stick this into place. And it's going to hold it on there nicely. I don't find it necessary to glue all this down. That's going to hold it in there nicely because I'm going to put my label over top of it. It's going to be completely fine. So I need to dimensionalize this. And because I'm putting it on the glimmer paper, I'm gonna put just like one extra one on there. We're gonna make sure that it holds down onto the glimmer paper. I'm gonna do that. Okay, press that into place. And then bring in our shimmer gems. And we're gonna put a few of these little guys on here too. Let's see, oops, we didn't get that one. There we go. Look at all the shimmer on that card. Wouldn't you love to get that for your birthday? That would make me smile. I love pink, so like that's to give. Okay, let me clean up this mess and bring in all the projects again. I hope that you have gotten some creative inspiration from these projects in this video and that maybe you found it entertaining just because of all my adventures. This out of the way. Okay. All right. Got my table space all cleared. So this is our last one. And then we created this one. And then we've got this one. And we've got our peach pie and our shy shamrock. So we've got all 5 of our in colors. We've used the basic beige, which you'll have a sampling in with your color club bundles. And just use a couple stamp sets. Again, you don't have to use the stamp sets that I used. You can use any punch outs you have, any label die cuts that you have, as well as the imagery. Because these products, the papers, the inks, they're all made to work really well with a variety of different stamp sets and dies. So I hope that this class has creatively inspired you to take your in color bundles and get them out, cut them, use them, and create beautiful papers, beautiful paper crafting that you can take your paper sunshine that you've created and send it out to brighten somebody's day, because that's really what it's all about. Paper crafting, stamping is just, if you make these cards and you're not sending them, what good are they doing? You need to send them and lift somebody up and, you know, bring joy to their day. So I appreciate you joining me today. Again, if you have any interest in ordering anything that maybe you saw here that you'd like for your paper crafting, this is my current hostess code. If it for some reason is not valid when you go, you can always message me and I can give you the current one. And that does qualify you for the Happy Mail free card kits that I offer each month. And my online store is at stampinyoucrazy.stampinup.net. So, oh, and also, so the free shipping that is tomorrow, July 23rd, it is a $75 minimum purchase. I am placing an order, so if you want to send it to me, you're more than welcome to do that, and I can place it for you. But in order to get the free Happy Mail card kits, you do need to use this hostess code. There's to get all 3 cards, your order does need to be over $50. So, okay, I think that's it for today. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for allowing me to share this creativity escape with you. And I do appreciate your time. All right, until next time, happy stamping.